A few days ago, our channel released a video discussing why China hasn't restricted the use of Apple iPhones. However, recent reports from the Wall Street Journal suggest that Chinese government officials are now prohibited from using iPhones and foreign brand devices due to potential security risks. Overnight, Apple's market value plummeted by $106.2 billion, marking its largest single-day drop in nearly 2 months. Additionally, Bloomberg News suggests that as China seeks technological self-reliance, this ban may expand to government-supported institutions and state-owned enterprises. It's causing quite a stir. As Huawei's Kirin 5G returns to the throne, with the sudden release of the Mate60 and X5 flagship devices, and Apple's iPhone 15 series launch approaching, the rumors of Chinese government officials being banned from using iPhones couldn't come at a more critical time. What's strange is that despite extensive searches through all official Chinese media, we haven't found any rumors of an Apple ban. Therefore, it's hard to determine whether the Wall Street Journal's report is based on solid evidence or mere speculation. Given the Chinese culture's inclination toward subtlety, government authorities are unlikely to directly confront a foreign company through official documents. However, this doesn't negate the possibility of an internal consensus forming, especially considering the ongoing debate about the privacy and security of Apple iPhones. So, is it true that Apple iPhones will effectively be banned in mainland China? I'd like to share my thoughts on this matter, and I believe that after hearing them, you'll form your own opinions. Let's begin. In reality, banning Apple iPhones isn't a novel move initiated by the Chinese. The Financial Times reported back in July that Russia's Ministry of Industry and Trade, concerned about US espionage activities, announced a ban on the use of Apple iPhones and other Apple devices by its employees starting from July 17. Similar bans have been implemented in the Finance Ministry, Energy Ministry, and other government agencies. When someone opens work emails on an iPhone, IT experts report it. Everyone complains about the inconvenience because they have to carry another phone or tablet, said officials from the Russian Federal Security Service, suggesting that Apple iPhones are no longer considered secure and alternatives should be sought. FSB has claimed to have discovered that the United States National Security Agency, NSA, used unknown malware to infiltrate Apple iPhones for espionage purposes. FSB believes that this conspiracy reveals a close relationship between Apple and the NSA. FSB also stated that thousands of Apple iPhones, including those used by domestic Russian users, have been compromised by malicious software. Furthermore, some foreign diplomats' phones in Russia have become targets of US surveillance. Apple immediately denied these allegations, with a company spokesperson stating in a media release, "We have never collaborated with any government to insert software backdoors into any Apple products, and we never will." However, some Russians claim that even behind the ban, there is some leeway in allowing the personal use of Apple devices. So, will China follow Russia and outright ban Apple iPhones? In my opinion, although China and Russia are important partners and allies, they have significant differences in their approaches. China is unlikely to simply ban Apple iPhones for several reasons. First, China has been striving to attract and retain foreign investment. From a reciprocal sanctions perspective, while the US imposed restrictions on Chinese tech companies like Huawei, ZTE, Hikvision, and even attempted to ban TikTok, China has refrained from imposing similar restrictions on American companies operating in China. China has consistently emphasized its commitment to an open-door policy. Additionally, throughout this year, prominent American entrepreneurs like Tim Cook of Apple, Elon Musk of Tesla, and Bill Gates of Microsoft have visited China and received high-level receptions. This demonstrates China's determination to attract foreign investment and maintain an open attitude. Second, with Huawei making a comeback and Apple relocating its production capacity, the importance of the Apple iPhone supply chain to China has started to diminish. Since being placed on the US Entity List in May 2019 and exiting the US market, Huawei, alongside China's semiconductor industry, has worked diligently to achieve self-sufficiency in 5G chip production. Huawei's sudden release of the Mate 60 Pro on August 29, 2023, after 1,556 days of efforts, seems to signal to the US that its sanctions have failed. Meanwhile, Apple has planned to shift iPhone production capacity from mainland China to countries like India and Vietnam. It's reported that iPhone 15 is already in production in India, with Apple planning for Indian capacity to account for 25% of global production. Eventually, China's iPhone production capacity will drop to less than 50%. Additionally, foreign companies like Dell and Sony announced last year that they would shift their production capacity to produce products exclusively for the Chinese market within mainland China. This move is said to be aimed at ensuring supply chain security and is influenced by factors such as rising labor costs in China. The specific reasons are complex and sensitive, and we can delve into them in more detail later. Thirdly, both Apple and Tesla have already stored data in China. To ensure data security, Apple moved its data to Guizhou's cloud several years ago, effectively isolating it from global data. More recently, Tesla followed suit by storing data in Guizhou's cloud. Prior to this, Tesla had been banned from parking at military, government, and other sensitive facilities. Therefore, using data security as a reason to ban Apple seems unlikely to hold water. Summing up the analysis, regarding the rumors about Chinese government officials being banned from using iPhones by foreign media, I believe the most likely scenarios are as follows. Firstly, it's possible that foreign short-selling organizations are spreading rumors to manipulate Apple's stock. The US stock market has well-established mechanisms for short-selling, where these organizations use media reports to profit from the decline in stock prices. With the launch of the iPhone 15 and Huawei's resurgence, spreading rumors to short Apple's stock could easily succeed. Secondly, the rumors could also be true. Over the years, we have observed that the US often uses national security as a pretext to impose comprehensive sanctions on foreign companies, and these sanctions are often based on unfounded allegations. The true purpose behind these actions is to protect the interests of the United States and its companies. In the 1980s, the US employed a similar strategy against Japan's Advanced Electronic Products and Toshiba, a semiconductor manufacturer. They imposed sanctions for 5 years, banning the import of all Toshiba Group products. At the time, the United States was Toshiba's largest single market globally. As a result of the combination of punches from the US sanctions, the once prominent Toshiba Group suffered severe setbacks and decline. In 2013, French power giant Alstom was thriving. The US arrested Alstom executives, and following a series of maneuvers, most of Alstom's business was forced to be sold to the United States. As China's economy and technology continued to advance, the US eventually used this tactic against China. In 2018, Meng Wanzhou, the daughter of Huawei's founder Ren Zhengfei, was arrested by Canadian authorities while on a business trip in Vancouver. She was detained in Canada for several years under the direction of the United States on dubious charges. During Meng Wanzhou's detention, Huawei faced continuous sanctions from the United States in terms of technology and sales. Starting in 2019, Apple capitalized on the US government's sanctions against Huawei and experienced robust growth. In the first quarter of 2023, Apple's sales in China reached 13.3 million units, securing the top spot with a 19.9% market share. This marked a 6% year-on-year growth, making Apple the only brand with sales growth. Data also indicates that in the second quarter of 2023, China accounted for 24% of all iPhone shipments, while the US market accounted for 21%. China has become Apple's largest market. In the price segment above 5,000 yuan, Apple iPhones have a market share of over 85% in the Chinese market. This aligns with what Huawei's Yu Chengdong said, "When Huawei stumbles, Apple feasts." Today, Huawei has made a strong comeback with its 5G chips, targeting the high-end market above 5,000 yuan, directly competing with Apple. Some analysts believe that if Huawei's Mate60 series achieves sales of 20 million units in 2023, and captures 30% of the high-end market, Apple will be the most affected. Meanwhile, as Apple, which has made significant profits in China, moves some of its production capacity away, it implies a significant reduction in employment at its domestic manufacturing plants and a decrease in local tax contributions. Additionally, Apple's relocation may also lead many supply chain companies to follow suit, causing more negative chain reactions. Furthermore, it can be foreseen that Apple's sales in China will begin to decline, with some of its production capacity being taken over by Huawei. This will help alleviate the employment pressure and survival challenges faced by the domestic supply chain, due to Apple's production capacity relocation. Although official notifications haven't been seen yet, some corporate actions are already making waves. The fastest response came from a company in Shenzhen, which issued a notice requiring all employees involved in sensitive work not to use foreign electronic products. What are foreign electronic products? Apple iPhones and iPads are certainly foreign electronic devices. While Apple is not explicitly named, those in the know understand. Since the US can demand the ban on using Huawei products without hesitation, and even overseas TikTok is being banned, why should we indulge Apple? From the perspective of ordinary people, they will naturally use whichever product is most convenient for them. Patriotism and the use of electronic products should not be intertwined. Issuing a nationwide ban on Apple is clearly unrealistic. China has 250 million Apple users, and a direct government ban on Apple iPhones would have a direct impact on this group of people. Moreover, a considerable portion of Apple's low to mid-range manufacturing is located in China, providing millions of direct and indirect employment opportunities. Private companies have the freedom to ban the use of foreign electronic devices, but in this economic downturn, I believe no country would refuse foreign businesses from establishing factories and investing in their own country. China currently needs the support of foreign investment, as well as the prosperity and stability of its manufacturing industry. We respect the facts. Everything else will have to be left to time. This concludes today's discussion. See you next time.